Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. My name is Channie Mize, and I'm the general manager for Slalom, Ohio. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Tracie Wichman, who is the Chief Technology Strategy Officer at Fifth Third Bank.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to have this important conversation with you this morning.
So, we had talked a little bit last time about Prosci and how you use that as a methodology in Fifth Third. Can you share a little bit more about how Prosci is able to scale with rapid adoption of new solutions? Walk me through that a little bit.
Sure, a little bit. So, happy to. So Prosci is a change management framework, and it does give a fantastic framework to think about the types of change, to understand more the ways that people move through change and get to a place where the change is just ingrained in part of their normal way of working, and that is a voluntary process that happens in stages over time, which I think is a really important framework. And it also gives you a model to think about how you identify fairly broadly the entire suite or the entire series of stakeholders that are going to be impacted. Now, what we need to do is pair that up with the ways that our teams that are delivering the new solutions are working. So one of the things that we did was embed change management and the Prosci method of change management into our feature development cycle. So I mentioned earlier that this literally becomes part of the definition of done of, are you ready to deploy this into the environment? Do the end users report that they are prepared to adopt this change and use it as intended? So it kind of, we have forced the shift left into the actual definition of done in terms of some of the feature work, but also doing that kind of check at the go live as well to ensure, yeah, we actually have cared for this. People are prepared. And so it's been a nice partnership between allowing the subject matter experts around the product management to define, what is changing for people in terms of the new solution, and having change management people take on the how we will get users to adopt this. And it's been a nice partnership, and it's been quite successful. So it does include ensuring that your working practices are caring for this just as much as you would care for the technical soundness of the actual feature.
Yeah. Often I have spoken to folks and people all acknowledge that change management is super important, but it's often the first thing that gets cut out of a deployment.
Yep.
And so obviously you've built a really great ethos around this at Fifth Third. What do you think has allowed you to kind of build and continue to build on that at your
So I
organization?
think that one of the things is that we are all, I believe, more than ever, every single person is appreciative of the scale and scope of what is changing in your life, and this is your personal life, your your professional life, certainly, is so overwhelming that one of the things that we were able to be very successful is getting, the sponsors of our modernization program on board of talking about, the tremendous amount of change that we were going to be introducing when we are successful. And so I think that when you reframe this not as a problem of adoption, but as a missed opportunity or if you don't invest in the change management, which is the last kind of expression of whether you actually get the value out of the investment. If you actually release a product and people aren't using it, or you release a process improvement, but people are most likely unwittingly working their way around it, you haven't actually gotten the full the full freight of the investment. And so I think that changing some of that perspective was really key. And then to do that, I think it's just as you would approach any change management process, it's understanding what's important to your sponsor, the product manager, et cetera, and then beginning to show the value of change management, not just beginning to, but showing the value of change management to that ultimate outcome is what's been key at Fifth Third.
Yeah, I certainly agree. I think if you want to drive impact, you need to actually have all the facets that build impact. And people are way more than 50% of the equation. It's not 50% technology, 50% human. It's
Yeah.
probably much more tilted to 70% human, 30% technology as a guess. But
Mhm.
I definitely think that you have to bring along the human engine if you're going to get the value out of that change. So, well,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um, and then, one of the things that I had also shared with you is that, you know, a great employee experience is so valuable to an overall enterprise. So there was a study by the University of Oxford back in 2019 that actually stated that happy employees are 13% more productive,
Mhm.
which is actually quite a lot if you think about it,
Yes.
across a standard week. And so, you know, obviously a happy employee drives better business. And are you seeing that at Fifth Third?
Absolutely. I think that, I mean, we very routinely deploy checkpoints around employee engagement. And uh, some of the items that we really focus in on are you getting what you need in order to be successful in your job? Do you understand how what you are doing every day connects to the larger strategy? And as you see incremental positive growth in some of those scores, I think that um, you absolutely can see more productivity. I think that in a change management perspective, the value of investing in ensuring that people understand how to use these time saving and customer experience enhancing features of I mean, of course it generates more productivity. And I think that, we're also just incredibly devoted to ensuring that we have retention of our talent. And as we see, we really see that people who are retained employees are typically the most productive and the most high potential as well over time. And so we just want to continue to dig in again and again and again at making that employee experience better for our people so that they can be more productive, more fulfilled, and more devoted to staying at Fifth Third for the range of their career.
I love that. So I have one last bonus question for you. What is the one thing you're most proud of across the tenure of your career, your time at Fifth Third?
So that's a really hard question for me to answer, to pick one. Um, I'm going to pick a thematic answer.
Mhm.
Over the time that I've been at Fifth Third, which is it's close, it's almost a decade actually. My 9-year anniversary was just a couple of days ago. So much has changed in the environment. And I'm talking about certainly in the financial services environment, but in the larger world. And we've been through so many, really seismic shifts in our culture,
Mhm.
in our working life, in the expectations of our customers, in the capabilities of technology. Through all of these things, I think a real commitment to providing the very best customer experience and adapting to those evolving expectations and understanding that the employees of Fifth Third are the key to unlocking the value and the promise that are in those opportunities. That's what I'm most proud of. It's been a steadfast commitment in all of the organizations that I have been a part of, and I've had the luck and the great opportunity to travel through a number of different kind of parts of the organization in my career so far at Fifth Third. And that's something that has been steadfast, and it makes me very, very proud to be a part of Fifth Third Bank.
Well, that's a great answer and a lot to be proud of for real. I mean, fantastic. Um, so thank you, Tracie Wichman, again for allowing me to interview you today. For all those who've been watching, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you all.
Thank you.